Last time on Long Distance Dungeons and Dragons Dinner Theater, Vortiga worked really hard to get access to the tower. Cersei cashed in a bounty on that stolen painting. And Osk got into his usual amount of trouble. Now for the newest episode of Long Distance Dungeons and Dragons Dinner Theater.
Okay, can I manipulate the objects in front of me?
Let's see. Well, you're an ooze that you have a magnetic pulse, so you could do that. You could slam things. Those are pretty much your options. And if you touch something, it's going to hurt it, because it's just going to do plasma damage. You can't really touch anything without hurting it. You do fire and electricity damage every time you touch something. Also, if you encase something, you're going to do fire and electricity damage to it. You're really good at flying, and you have a magnetic pulse. So you could, like suck away all his weapons or something. But I don't know if that would get across your message any better.
No, I can't, draw something in the...
Can he not levitate his corpse?
I don't know if you're good enough at controlling this thing to,
magnetically take an arrow and use that and manipulate it to try to write a message.
Roll me a dexterity check while in this body, and if you do a good enough job, I'll say yeah.
Alright, I rolled a 17, so I don't...
Plus for dexterity, I'll assume that was good enough to somehow magnetically manipulate an arrow to draw your message in the street.
It can be like an arrow or something.
Yeah, you're doing it. You're doing it. You're doing it right now. You're drawing with an arrow a message. What do you write with your arrow? It's got to be short. It can't be a long message. Don't give me you got less than 140 characters with this bitch. Give me a 30 character message.
Alright.
You're drawing with an arrow.
Follow me with my body.
That seems pretty short. I'll allow it. Can you read, Morrigan?
Yeah.
All right, then we'll assume you could read that. Do you get that message?
Yes.
All right, you got it. All right, Morgan will pick up your body and follow the cloud.
All right, so I'm gonna be like a linebacker. We're just seeing if I can go.
Sprint.
Well, I'm not sprint.
I'm probably dragging you. I'm not that strong.
Yeah, you're not very strong.
Yeah. Morgan's gonna be slowing you down, dragging the big ass old orc body behind her.
Whatever. I mean, it's an ugly body, so it's not gonna get any worse.
Yeah, it's just gonna get a couple dents in it.
Already cut multiple chunks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get a little bit of road rash. It's fine. All right, so we have a half-elf female dragging an old half-orc body
You create like a
behind a giant pink cloud of goo.
to drag me on. I don't know. Just smart.
Survival skill? I doubt it. No, not with a +3 to survival.
No, but you could take a blanket and 2 sticks, and then you have a stretcher. Yeah.
You could take a 20 on making that if you're willing to take the time. I mean, you will be able. I mean, this is an imaginary game, so if you want to take a couple imaginary hours to make a stretcher to make your life easier, I'll allow it.
Hour.
Imaginary stretcher for your imaginary life.
Yeah, that's fine.
I've got some rope. I'm just gonna tie a quick harness and tie it to his leg. And,
It's like just dragging by one leg. I like that. Visually, I like that a lot more. I like that you're just dragging Oscar by one leg. He's just bouncing along.
I'm gonna decompose a stretcher and put my body on the ground.
anything to make a stretcher.
Sticks and a blanket.
His hip's gonna pop out of joint.
He's an old man.
I was a Boy Scout. I know how to do these things. Just a blanket and 2 sticks.
Yeah, but he's a half elf who's stoned out of his mind right now.
Yeah, that's also supposed to be good for nature. I mean, come on now.
He grew up on a boat. He grew up on a boat, Tom. He didn't grow up in the woods. He grew up on a boat. He's a boat elf.
How to play my character. Alright, I'm gonna shove him into my bedroll and then just drag that behind me.
All right, you're lay him. I get you to be lay him on the blanket and then pull the blanket.
Yeah.
I get that. That works like a
Like
rowboat.
a sleeping bag, just shove him in the large
Like in the
sack.
flap. I'll
Yeah.
allow something. So you're dragging him like a caterpillar behind you. I get it. Yeah, I'll let you just travel that way. That's fine. It will slow you down a little bit, but you can travel that way as long as you like. And luckily for you, you don't encounter anything else on your way to Westport. You reach the gate at Westport.
Tom, do you have any metal in your body?
Yeah.
You should have just levitated your shit. I mean, you would have made all those stretchers and everything.
Yeah. Well,
It's true. You have magnetic pulse. You could have pulsed yourself. If you have enough metal. I don't know if you have enough metal in your body, but
It's like the armor. I guess I could have magnetic pulsed their armor and pulled.
yeah, yourself. You can help. We can say that this whole time you've been helping.
Yeah.
He's like pulling a blanket, and you're like pulse, pulse, pulse. You're making it easy. You're making it easy for Morrigan. So we'll say that you traveled at normal speed. How about that? With your magnetic help, you were able to travel at normal speed to Westport. You get there at a normal time. You are now at the gate at Westport.
Alright, well, I unfortunately have to go.
Alright, we'll pause you there then.
Well, I guess we're at the front gate. Do I know what time it is at this point?
By the time you get there, it's late evening. It's in the eve. In the eve, yeah. So it's gotten kind of late. What's up, Grant?
I'm gonna try and find an inn and drag Tom's lifeless body.
Alright, following that cloud. You're gonna have trouble walking that cloud into town, so I don't know if Tom's planning on staying outside of town with that cloud or what.
I would imagine
I think
so.
he said he was going to go to an inn. Didn't he say he was going to go to an inn?
Not in that cloud thing.
Yeah. That's the
Um,
tricky part.
Can we just leave the cloud outside and I'll just take his corpse? I don't want to leave it at the gate.
I mean, at that point, if we do that, then I'm going to say that his shadow form leaves the cloud and goes back into his body. You can still hide his body somewhere, but he'll be like in his body, not in the cloud anymore, and the cloud will just go about its business.
Yeah. I don't want to just hide his corpse in the woods. You know, what if...
It's your call. You're the one that's there with him, not me.
Yeah.
I can't make that call.
Can I just play ahead? Can I leave him there and play ahead?
Like, leave him outside of the city in the woods with the let him, you can leave him with the plasma cloud and let him watch over himself and assume that everything's fine. He's got a giant ooze plasma cloud watching his body. So you want to do that? Like, leave him outside of town with his ooze cloud? And you go into town?
Yeah.
Alright. You leave Osk's body outside of town with a giant ooze cloud. You go into Westport.
Alright, well, I'm gonna... I don't know. I mean, I'm from this island. I don't know if I've been here, though. So I'm just gonna...
Westport is the town that you grew up in on the ship. That was the town that you grew up on the ship on. That's the Navy town.
Alright, then I'm gonna do a knowledge history.
Or local is probably what you need to do, but you're very familiar with this area, so you don't have to roll very high.
I'll go for, like, the closest inn. Or bar.
Okay.
Local, closest bar, for sure. That is a natural one. Yeah.
Alright, whenever you lived here, you weren't old enough to go to the bar, so you're not familiar with where the local bar might be since you rolled a 1, unfortunately.
Alright, can I do a perception, see if there's anyone around me that I can ask?
Yeah.
19.
There is someone that you can ask. And it happens to be, let me scroll down a little bit farther. Yeah, it happens to be a human, looks very friendly. He's wearing a uniform, but it doesn't seem to fit very well. But he seems very friendly, and he seems like he would talk to you if you'd like to approach and ask him any questions.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up to him. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm like, hey sir, I've been away from home for a very long time. Do you know where the nearest tavern is, or bar?
He says, "Oh, well, welcome back to Westport." He says, "It's good to see you." You'll notice at this time that he's got very large earlobes and like a lazy haircut for a military guy. And he's very like touchy-feely, very glad-handed. He's shaking your hand, he's patting you on the back. He offers to walk you to the closest bar.
Alright, I'll agree to that, but I'd like to know his name first.
He says, "My name is Juan Malvo."
What was it?
Juan
Juan?
Malvo.
Well, nice to meet you, Juan Malvo.
He asks your name. It's Juan with a W.
Yeah. Oh, I put W-H-A-N.
It's spelled W-O-N, like one, but it's not pronounced that way.
Juan. It's spelled that way, but pronounced.
It's pronounced Juan, but spelt one.
Okay. Alright, I'll give him my real name.
All right. He says, "Oh, well, welcome back to the city of Westport." He says, "I don't think I've ever heard that name before." He says, "Have you heard about the Westport military?"
I've been gone a very long time.
He says, "Well, you look like a hardy adventurer. I'm sure that you would make a great asset in the Westport military. You could see the world and go on great adventures. And there's all kind of great perks you could get from joining the military. Would you like to know the great perks of joining the military?" You can get into the war smithy and get your weapons improved. You can get into the academy and learn all kinds of war skills. You can get into the alchemists, the war arena, the military hospital. You get free services, including regenerative healing. Even if you lose a limb, you can get your limbs healed for free, and a free house here in town in Westport. You can move home again. Just join the military. You should really join the military.
I'd like to think about this more. Maybe chat with you some more. Right after we get to this bar that I'm working.
Oh yeah, we're almost there. It's just around the corner. I'll take you there. He leads you around the corner and he opens the door into a bar. It's full of a lot of soldiers. They all kind of wave at Juan when he comes in. It seems like he's a man of some importance. He's like a go-to guy. Everyone's met him. They all say hi, and he says, "Everyone, this is," and he says, "Oh, this is Morgan. You don't have a last name, right? This is Morgan. She's new. She's returning to town. Everyone, treat her nice. First drink's on me." And he sends you to the bar, and the bartender nods and gives you the first drink on the house. There are signs that say no fighting allowed, no gambling allowed, things like that. But
Soldiers love to gamble.
Yeah. They love it. They love it, and they'll do it, but it's not allowed. You could probably talk one of them into doing it. They have 2 really quick gambling games they play around here. You would know that from growing up around here. They do have 2 gambling games they play, but they're very fast games because they don't want to get caught playing them because they can get in trouble.
So no backroom or anything.
You're not going to play any long gambling games. You're going to play really fast, win or lose type games here.
All right, can I sit down at a table with Juan?
Yeah, you can see if he'll sit with you. That's fine. Yeah, he'll join you for some company. He'll come to the bar with you and also have a drink.
And I'd like to find out more info on this Westport military.
All right. He fills you in. He says, "Well, this is a castle city. As you notice, it's surrounded by a great wall. We export soldiers and weapons throughout the region. If you join the military, all sorts of weapons and equipment are become available to you. The city's very heavily armed and policed and fortified. It's policed by our military." He says, "We also have a soul shard program where all of our recruits spend their first 24 hours of recruitment with a soul shard. And in the case of an untimely death, we have 2 soul shards of them, and we can recreate a sort of gear work man mesh version. We take whatever parts we have left. So we take whatever remains we have of your body and we mix them with gears. And we make cyborg. Yeah, with your soul shards, we make cyborg versions of yourself that you can then make cyborg versions of yourself that are then living and have your soul inside of them if you die. So it's like having you join the army once, we get 3 soldiers out of it. You also get access to the war smithy if you join the military, so we can make your weapons keen, or we can give them energy resistance, fortification, bane, conserving or designating powers. You get a discount at the stables. You already have access to the stables. You get a discount there on all the riding animals, all the animals there. You also get access to the hospital with fast healing for local military members for free. You get a free house. We have farmland here, so you have access to cheap food. There's a barracks where you can train, a war arena where you can train and fight that's only available to people of the military. And an academy that can train you, and as you level up, you can have the ability to actually control armies worth of troops and buy siege weapons, etc. Yeah, you have to take a leadership feat later on, but if you have leadership, you can control whole armies. But even at a higher level, you can buy siege weapons like cannons and rams and things like that if you join the army.
Can I do a quick perception check while I'm sitting here drinking this whole time with them?
Yeah.
Does he look drow?
All right, roll it.
15.
He does not look drow to you at 15, no.
Alright, well, I'm going to ask him, I have one question. Is there any kind of contract that I'll have to sign to be...
He says we do require a contract of service to the Army. He says, but really, it extends as we have very short terms. You can do a 6-month term with training. He says as long as you leave your 2 soul shards with us, the soul shards only belong to you as long as you're in the Army. So if you leave the Army, the 2 soul shards become ours, and we retain the right to make troops with them on our own.
Gotcha. Alright, I'd like to take the night to think it over. Is there someplace tomorrow I can meet you and...
He says, well, I'm an easy guy to find. You just ask anybody where Juan is, and they'll point you in my direction. He says, I'm head recruitment officer. He says, I'm the liaison between most citizens and the military, and I'm always happy to talk to anyone. He says, anyone. You just ask for Juan, and someone will get me right away.
Alright, well, I appreciate your time you spent with me. Have a good night, sir.
He says, no problem, Morgan. It was a pleasure meeting you as well. He says, I hope you choose to join the Westport service. He says, a half-elf like you would be a great asset to our military, and I'm sure you would learn great skills.
Alright.
But he can't do anything for 6 months,
Basically. Well, he can go on missions for the... He can go on missions, but it'll be military missions. He won't be with you guys. He'll be doing things for the military or done in 6 months, basically.
And I can always consider. Yeah. Alright, well, I'm gonna leave the tavern. Can I do a knowledge local on, like, the nearest inn?
Yeah.
12. Or no, that's not right. That's only a 6.
All right. You can't seem to find an inn, and you don't remember seeing inns here as a child. You think maybe there aren't any, and you might be better off heading back to Northport since Tom's watching over his body, or Oscar's watching over his body. You might be better off heading to Northport to sleep. There don't seem to be any places to rest here unless you're in the military, really.
Gotcha. Alright, well, I guess I'll do that. I'm gonna trek back up to Northport.
All right. On the road to Northport. That's a gnome, female gnome druid. Yep. All right, so here's what's gonna happen. You're leaving the town of Westport, heading on the road towards Northport. On the road ahead, I need you to roll a perception check.
27.
Up ahead, you see a gnome riding the back of a giant spider on an exotic saddle. Like, so there's a giant spider wearing a saddle with a little gnome lady riding the spider. And,
how far away?
Probably about 60, 70 feet. And
Are they like bushes?
she's heading down the road in your direction.
Are there bushes near the side of the road?
No, there's a forest, but it's about 70. You'd have to run to the forest, and she would probably see you running off the road into the forest and be suspicious.
Right.
At this point, she probably sees you as well as you see her. I need you to roll a perception check also there to find out if that's for sure. But so 1 second, I'll get Pleek. All right, so Pleek rolled a 9.
No,
but you don't...
13.
Oh, 13, which is still not great. So you don't know she can't see you, because you can see her, so you assume that she can see you, but you're also a half-elf, so your eyes might be better. That's a possibility.
Giant spider.
She's running a giant spider.
Alright, well, I'm gonna old-school train robbery this, and pull out my musket and just stand there and wait for it.
Alright, let's stand on the musket and wait for the spider to approach. Alright. Moments later, the spider comes closer and closer. I need you to roll me another perception check there, Pleek.
Feeling it today. That's a 15.
Alright, as you grow closer, you can see a figure in the road ahead, but you can't quite make it out. But you see what looks like a slender figure in the road ahead. You stand there with your gun, just waiting for this gnome to get closer and closer.
Yeah.
You continue traveling, you get closer and closer. You can roll another perception check as you get closer if you like.
Well, I already know he's there. I can see him.
So apparently this gnome has horrible vision, or it's late at night. It is late at night, so you don't have dark vision, do you?
I have low light vision.
There's
My
no light.
spider has dark vision.
So the spider can see you, but the gnome can't quite make you out. It can definitely see there's a person ahead in the road, but it hasn't made out the fact that you're carrying a gun yet. It hasn't considered you hostile. It continues to walk towards you. You want you have to roll again until you see him, pretty much. So I can't really do anything until you see this fucking person.
Well, I keep getting worse.
You should roll a different dice. You don't use that dice anymore. There you go.
15 again.
All right. Well, now you're closer, so 15 is going to be in. All right, that's even better.
13 and 9. That's 20.
All right, that's 21. All right, so so you finally get close enough that you can see. You're very close now. You're about 15 feet away, but up in the road ahead is an elf with a gun pointed at you.
Pointed at him?
Yeah, you're an ass.
But once you got close enough, you realize that the elf has probably been holding the gun this whole time, waiting for you to approach. It's late at night, so you could assume that maybe they were afraid they're being robbed or something. So it would be reasonable to assume they're just afraid. What do you say, Morrigan?
I say, halt, who's there?
All right, you got a halt. Who's there?
I say in response, these are my woods. Who are you?
There's your response. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
I'm going to say, my name is George. I'm simply traveling from Westport to...
All right, well, wait a second. When you say your name is George, will you go ahead and describe yourself to Pleek?
I am a, 6-footish, skinny, female half-elf who once had large titties, but now
Pretty flat-chested.
pretty flat-chested.
I'm
That's
sorry.
your fucking fault.
Shut up, it's your fault, Ramsey. Or dead Ramses.
Yeah.
I used to be pretty fucking hot, but now I'm just flat-chested. So still attractive-ish. Maybe not to a gnome. And also you're female, unless you're a lesbian.
So there's the information that you can see.
Alright, so the lady elf named George with no tits.
Yeah, it has a gun pointed at you. It says her name is George.
Alright. I say, hey George, how about you lower that gun? For my spider Harriet takes it from you.
No, I don't think so. How about you dismount that spider? Step away.
He's gonna destroy you.
Your giant spider is
He's got a giant fucking spider!
I do have a giant fucking spider.
To be fair, a giant spider is about the size of a human. It's about 3 to 5 feet in size. It's big enough for... He's a gnome. He's only about 3 foot tall. That's why he can ride it. You probably couldn't ride it without... It'd be like you trying to ride a dog. But the gnome has no problem riding it. That's why. It's big. Yeah. I mean, it's big. You could probably ride it and it wouldn't hurt it, but you would have, you'd look silly. But the gnome looks pretty... As a matter of fact, you've got a pretty high intimidation. Why don't you roll intimidation right now? So we'll get Pleek to roll intimidation versus you to get you to lower your gun. Because she is riding a spider, and she has intimidation.
22.
22. That's going to be high enough to kind of make you want to back down a little bit there, Morrigan.
Do I get to roll against it, or do I get any kind of defense against that?
Would you like to? You can roll me a will save versus it if you want. Versus intimidation.
Alright, I'll take it.
Alright, roll it.
Nope.
Alright, so you are intimidated by this gnome and this spider, and you feel like it might be a good idea to lower your gun and maybe have a nice conversation.
Alright, I'll lower my gun.
It is, after all, a gnome. You feel like maybe you could take her, even with a spider, so... You're willing to lower your gun and talk, at least.
Yeah, I'm not gonna drop the gun, but I will lower it.
You can put it to your side. It can still be in your hand.
Yeah.
She's just asking that you don't point the gun at her face, I think.
Exactly.
I'll accept that. I won't point it at her face.
Alright, so you lower your gun to your side. You may now continue your conversation with Pleek.
So Cleek, you say this is your forest.
Damn straight.
I've heard this forest is filled with ghosts. Well, what do you know about these ghosts then? Are you controlling all these ghosts if it's your forest?
I'm manifesting those ghosts by dropping bodies in this forest.
Sounds pretty fucked up. Alright, so this is your forest.
Roll me an intimidation check with that
statement.
Yeah, that statement. So, you hearing a gnome, he rolled a 1, so you guys know. So hearing a gnome say that makes you kind of chuckle. You're like, oh, the idea of a gnome like just dropping bodies in the forest to you as an elf seems kind of silly. You're like, oh yeah, sure, gnome. You don't take the gnome serious. You think the gnome is just talking big. Is what is your You think this gnome is just talking trash at this point because you had a gun in her face and she's trying to also sound tough. So you think maybe she's just trying to talk you down.
Well, okay. Alright, Pleague. Well, my intentions, I'm simply going to Northport. So if you wouldn't mind the great and mighty Pleague granting me passage to Northport, I would be greatly appreciative. Can I say that kind of sarcastically?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say that sarcastically. Roll me a sense motive to see if you understand sarcasm. Yeah, that's high enough. He totally gets you being sarcastic, or she totally understands you're being sarcastic.
I pull out my gnome hooked hammer and say, if you want to cross, you're either going to have to take me or pay me.
Alright, take you or pay you?
First peer-to-peer. Yeah. Pat's just being a total dick over here, thinking like, oh, I gotta kill somebody.
How much do you have to pay?
No, I'll pay you alright.
Oh, God.
And,
Scissor.
no. I'm gonna bust out my flask and offer this little gnomelet a drink.
Are you Caden Kylene?
Yes.
All right, roll me diplomacy and give it a +2.
26.
All right, the drink intrigues you. You know elves often have. I mean, gnomes are partial to drinking. Let's be honest.
Oh, of course.
And gnomes often have very good liquor and liqueurs. So you're partial to try a sip of what this elf might be offering.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to drink it.
All right. The gnome approaches and is now within 5 feet of you, so you're now next to each other. Still riding the back of your spider, I assume.
Oh, yeah, I haven't gotten off my spider.
All right, so still riding the back of your spider. So on the back of the spider, even height with you. Usually only 3 feet tall on the back of the spider, eye to eye. So she sips off of your flask. And shares it with you, and I assume nods. What do you have in your flask? Do you remember?
Nothing special.
Just ale. Yeah. So it's ale, but
It's just, elven ale.
Oh, elven ale, so that's decent. That's pretty decent, actually. It's not bad. That's expensive at a bar, usually, so that's good stuff. So you guys enjoy that. I'll give you guys improved diplomacy for the time being, because you're drinking together.
Sweet. Yeah, don't I get that with Caden Clean anyways or something? I get my Caden Clean bonus.
You get all kinds of Caden bonuses. I think you get, while you're drunk, you can, like, resist spells or something, I think.
Yeah, mind effects, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Alright, well, alright, Clean, I mean you no harm. I'll take this as a missed encounter. Anyways, I am traveling north, with some friends. What journeys have you been on recently? Can we just, talk about?
You can talk. I'll interject that right now. Pleak left the city of Northport looking for a half orc that vanished earlier today when the guards tried to arrest him, and she's trying to collect the bounty on this half orc.
Gotcha. Did she tell me that?
Yeah, in your conversation you had just now about your lives, and she's like, I'm outbound. She says, you can give him a little backstory here, Pleak. You grew up wrong. Tell him about where you grew up and all that shit.
I grew up in town.
In Northport.
My pops was a bit of a Don Juan, a bit of a cad, so he's around, with a bunch of different women, so I'm just one of his bastard children. So my mom died in childbirth. I grew up in a drow house, just sort of getting shit on my whole life, so I'm really not cool with people. I don't trust anyone because I've just been bullied my whole life and looked down upon. So basically, I'm just out to, take back what I think is mine, and I do so by being a bounty hunter.
Word.
And killing.
Well, I had just left Northport the day before. I heard there was some kind of disturbance with this half-orc. But I hope you can find this fella that you're after. Do you care if I continue to Northport, and I can try and help you out in any way, and maybe gather some local intel on this orc?
Well, George, I like your drink. I like the cut of your jib. So I think maybe we got off on the wrong foot, and I'm totally okay with it.
All right, you guys
Feel free to proceed.
You guys join forces and travel together
Well,
in classic D&D fashion.
that would be wise.
Yeah, alright, we can travel together.
I was going to Southport.
Oh, well,
He's going to Northport right now. Well, he was going to Westport, but he'll go back to Northport with you if you're going to collect information about the bounty. That's also what he's interested in. So if you're going for that purpose, he'll go along.
Okay.
So that'll also help him throw him off the trail of the thing he's looking for.
I know I'm a gnome, but I am a lady gnome, so please,
Yeah.
proper pronouns,
Yeah.
I'm a she.
She. Also a she, by the way. We got two she's here. All right.
No place for me to stay in Westport. I was planning on heading to Northport for the night.
Well, I've got a home, so
Offer of free
Yeah.
lodging?
yeah.
All right, so you have an offer of free lodging with your new friend, Pleek.
Sweet. I'll take him up on that. I'll take her up on that.
All right, you take Pleek up on her offer for free housing. You go to the home of Pleek. And rest, and then we'll join Cersei and see if we can get Cersei back in the same vicinity of you as well soon. Cersei.
All right. Well, I'm currently still in Crow Skull,
Yep.
and I need to take another bounty, I guess, and I need to figure out where I want to go.
If you just want, you were already in the guild, right? So we kind of left it. You were in the Thieves Guild. You could
Yeah,
check the bounty board there if you want.
Yeah, I've got the Skybox Vault, the Sacred Gem of Reyes,
Mm-hmm.
ammo at Demon's Knot. I don't know what that means. Maybe there's just like an ammunition cache that I was supposed to pick, like try to steal.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, there's something definitely at Demon's Knot. And that might be your smartest one. So that's where your friends are. At Westport in Demon's Knot is where that military town is. So that's where they have like siege engines and stuff like that. So you could probably get all kinds of good ammunition there and stuff like that. That's probably what it's in reference to, like stealing a bulk cache of ammunition for the mob. And then the Southport also has some religious relics, also on Demon's Knot, that you could steal for money.
Let me write that down.
Either would fetch a good
Religious
price
Artifacts.
in Southport, or ammunition and weapons at Westport. Probably, the mob would take either one. It'd be like you'd be resupplying them with weapons without them having to pay for it, basically.
And that was it. Southport?
That's at Westport.
That-
Southport's the relics. Relics at Southport, weapons at Westport. And you would know that your friends went there. They did leave you a message about that, so I think you know that everyone else is in Demon's Knot. Because there was a message left about that.
I guess I'll leave a note. And
With Black Jesus in the inn.
Yeah, but I'll pay for the evening.
All right, so Black Jesus has a free night in the inn with a note.
Since I'm in the Thieves Guild?
What's that?
Do I get free lodging since we're in the Thieves Guild?
It's a Thieves Guild, so they're all about ripping people off, so no, but you will get a discount or they're not going to, it's not a whole lot. It'll be cheap. When Joey comes back, it won't be a whole lot. It'll be, especially because if he comes back and plays, I'll treat him separately. He'll have only been there the free night unless he stays more.
Okay.
So I'll consider that already paid. And for you, that's only 2 gold.
2 gold.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheap room.
Easy. And then I will also pay another gold and tip the receptionist to pass it a message
Deliver
on
the message.
to Joey and let him know that I am heading to
Onto Black?
I'm sorry, yeah, to Black Jesus.
Yep.
Leave a message for Black Jesus saying that Cersei, Cersei, I'm heading to Demon's Knot for two bounties for the Thieves Guild. I have your share of the painting bounty as well, if you wish to retrieve it.
All right. So you leave that message with the hotel concierge. You leave Crow Skull and head back to Perleone.
Yep.
All right. Let me roll to see if there's any encounters on the way, but you should be fine because a lot of those are Crow encounters, and you're fine. You're fine. You make it to Perleone safely.
Thanks.
You show them your tattoo to prove that you're in the mob. They let you in without any questions. You're safe in the city. You go to board a ship.
Yep. And I'm going to say I need passage to... where will it be? It'll probably come into any of those ports. Or...
Yeah, Northport's the closest port to Perleone.
Okay.
That's directly south of here. That's only 100 gold to pay passage to there.
Okay, 100. I'll go to Northport.
All right, you go to Northport. You sail to Northport. You arrive late at night. You get off the boat and wander into the city. Just about that time, I will say that Morrigan and our good new friend Pleek are arriving at the city. So as you're arriving at the port at the north part of the city, they're arriving at the gate at the south part of the city. But you guys are all there at the same time. But I'll give you some time to walk around because it looks like Pat's not there at this moment.
Yeah.
So if you want some time to wander around Northport, gather information, or do anything, shop, whatever.
I'm gonna go to the closest inn or tavern. What should I roll for that?
Knowledge local.
Knowledge local. I don't have it, but I have knowledge history. But I wouldn't know the history here.
Yeah, you know the history here. Look at the modifier is probably intelligence. I forget.
Yeah, it's gonna be intelligence. So
Just roll with that and try it. Yeah, and see what happens.
I'll give it a shot, and then I can always.
It's not hard to find. I mean, you can take a 20 on it. It'll take you longer to find the tavern. You can take a 20 and take a whole hour like asking around, like where's the closest tavern.
Yeah. It's probably early in the evening though, right?
Yeah, it's like I would say it's probably like 5-6 p.m. when you get there.
I'll just try to do
dusk.
a knowledge local and see what I.
Yeah. Do that first, and then if that doesn't work, we'll take a 20.
Oh, natural 20.
Oh, you're fine. Right away, I mean, it's probably your tits. It's probably the fucking fact that you have huge, sexy blue tits. Right away, someone's like, "Yeah, closest tavern. It's 2 blocks that way, a block left, and it's called Silhouette's Tavern. I just knock on the door to let you in." You go right away to Silhouette's Tavern. As you arrive, there was kind of recently it looks like there's some guards around outside. Like there was recently some kind of altercation, but you've just missed it. But you go into the tavern as the guards are kind of breaking up and looking around for whatever suspect they were trying to find. And you go into the tavern.
Lounge?
What's that?
The Silhouette Lounge?
Silhouette Tavern or Lounge. I like Silhouette Lounge, actually. So call it that. That's fine. Silhouette Lounge. Everything's a tavern. I like the idea of calling it Silhouette's Lounge.
Very well.
But it's a hole in the wall. I mean, it's kind of a divey bar. But they seem to have decent drinks there. A lot of elven drinks, which are a little more expensive. So they have, even though it's a divey bar, they have some more expensive options.
All right. I'm gonna walk up to someone at the bar and offer to buy for them to have a drink with me and see if maybe I can get some information about what transpired here with all the guards.
All right, they offer several drinks here. They offer elven absinthe, baijiu, bufo, coffee, Jiminju head fruit ale, and they also offer caviar and elven trail rations to eat. But they don't offer any normal ales, really.
Okay. Let's see here. The absinthe, is it addictive?
It can be.
But it's elven absinthe, right?
It's elven absinthe.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna tangle with that. How about the Jumanji head fruit or whatever it's called?
It's strong stuff. It's called head fruit for a reason. It's got a very sweet aroma. It's a very popular drink.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a party animal. I don't see why you wouldn't drink it.
Yeah. All right. What was the other option? I know there was coffee, caviar.
Bufo and baijiu.
What are bufo and baijiu?
Baijiu is like a clear sorghum alcohol, so it's kind of a very sugary alcohol, but kind of has a very corrosive, potent flavor. Bufo is comes in a jug. It's kind of like beer, but it has like a poisonous toad floating in it. So it's like beer with a toad in it. And it has kind of like a very dazzling, intoxicating type of effect.
Okay. Well, let's see here.
Bufo is probably the cheapest.
Bufo?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Because I've got that, as the plague patron, I can eat dead flesh, but I don't know if that would help me with my...
Yeah, with this it'd be fine. It's a poisonous toad, but you don't have poisonous resistance or anything, do you?
I have a spell that I could cast.
Well, then, if you did that, you'd be fine. But if not, I wouldn't eat the toad. But you can drink the beer, and the toxins from the toad kind of seep into the beer. But it's not so strong that it kills you unless you eat the toad.
All right. Well,
But you can sip on the beer and be fine.
I want to walk up to someone and offer them to share a couple of cups of coffee and some caviar.
Okay, so you're going the laced straight guy route. Okay, the coffee's only 1 gold per cup.
All right.
But the caviar is 150 per serving.
150 per serving.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna do.
They also have fine wine for 15 gold. I forgot that.
15 gold.
Yeah, for fine wine.
I'm gonna do the fine wine and the caviar.
All right.
And
So that'd be 165. And you could have a serving of both, and you can share the serving of caviar as long as you made it small. If you split up between 3 people, you'd be fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna invite an attractive looking dude over to join me. Roll diplomacy to see if they tell me what's been going on, what this place is about. I'm an adventurer. Roll diplomacy on that.
Yeah. The bartender brings you some caviar. He tells you.
28.
Oh, nice. The bartender tells you that it's chul caviar. That's Chaguul. Very delicate aquatic creature. So you have chul caviar. A very handsome man at the bar approaches you. You share your caviar and fine wine with him and make conversation. What do you ask? I'm sorry.
I want to ask what's been information about this town. I'm a traveler, and I just came over from Norland, and I'm just trying to see what's going on here. I noticed there was a little bit of an altercation or something outside. I saw some guards.
He says, well, welcome to Northport. He says, well, at least that's what the humans call it. He says, the name in Elven you probably couldn't pronounce. He says,
No, I don't speak Elven.
Not on your map, it's on mine.
Yeah, he's got a map if you want to see it.
Yeah.
That'll
Alright.
tell you a little bit about it.
Open palm.
Where is that map? Nope. Open hand, is that what it was? Open palm. Yeah.
Open palm.
Alright, so he says the closest thing in the human language, and he just kind of does a sign like this. He says there's no word for it, but he holds his hand up. He says he says that's what us elves call it. He says Northport is responsible for the export of most of the magical goods around the world. So if the fact I see you're a witch or a magician a wizard of some sort, it says I see the objects you're carrying. You probably carry some of our trademarks. If you look very closely, you'll find an elven trademark that signifies your items have come from Northport. He says we export a lot of those items around the world to other kingdoms. As most of the items you would find that are magical come from here, are made here, right here in Northport. We're very proud of it. It says 50 years ago we were attacked by a giant dragon, and only due to our magical prowess here at Northport were we able to slay the dragon and save the island. He says we did lose our magical crystal at that point in time, but it was worth it to rid the island of the scourge of the great dragon.
Magic crystal, eh? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask him who's in charge around here.
He says, "Oh, that's a very tricky question." He says, "We don't like to talk in terms. We don't like to talk in terms of who's in charge. Suffice to say that someone is in charge, and they make the decisions that matter, and we obey their decisions."
All right. I can work with that. I'm going to ask if there's any things of interest around Northport that I should know about. Maybe a place where you can go to buy magic items and learn how to make magic items, like a college for enchanting around here or something.
He says, "Well, everything's available. Basic gear and equipment's available in our marketplace." He says, he kind of whispers and does a sense motive on you, but I think you're going to be okay. You're fine. I know you. He says everything else you're going to have to find on the black market.
All right. Well,
He says, but he says, "Do you mind if I take a look at your hands and your arms?"
I'll say no problem.
All right. He takes a look and sees your tattoo and says, "Ah." He says, "No worries, you're with the mob." He says, everyone with the mob gets access to the black market. Just go to the regular market, show your sign, and they'll point you in the right direction.
Excellent. All right. He's know what I'm in for. I don't really need to know his name or anything like that.
What's that?
Well, is he like an important person, perhaps, this guy that I'm talking to? Like,
it doesn't seem so.
Don't need to write it down or anything.
No, it just seems like a guy from like an elf. You can write it.
Like,
I'll make up a name if you want, but he's not higher up or anything. He's just a guy in town who's lived here and has information. He's not gonna be somebody you'll probably run into again unless you do, and it's not, it's not a name you need to know. His name is Barry Flamagan.
Barry Flamagan?
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Okay. Well then, I guess I'm gonna...
He will point out the other things in town, though. He says, besides the Shadow Cabinet, which is where the Shadow Government runs its operations, we have a tavern called Silhouette's Tavern, Snallygaster Inn, which is a very fine inn, renowned around the world, the Bank of Many Plains.
Oh, hang on. You're getting ahead of me here. The Shadow Cabinet, that's where the government's run?
Yep.
Okay, and the Bank of Many what was it?
Bank of Many Plains.
Oh, I need to go there. I need to get one of those
magic wallet? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots of local craft galleries because there's a lot of master craftsmen in the area, so there's a lot of craft galleries for objects if you're interested in that kind of thing. Glass, woodworks, baskets, all kinds of shit. They have all kinds of crafts here. There's a garrison for the orcs that are in our guard, a dungeon jail, a private library that you won't be able to get into, a stable, a decent stable, an old temple. Really, it's mostly homes and factories except for the Silhouette's Tavern. There is a small magic academy, but they won't be able to teach you a whole lot. And a magic arena. The arena in town only allows magic battles. So you might shine in that arena. It's all magic on magic, no melee or ranged combat.
Is it lethal or non-lethal?
You can sign up for either one. It's optional. But it is all magic, lethal or non-lethal. And there's a fine harem at the Snallygaster Inn as well, if you can afford them.
Fine harem?
Yep. Which is right up your alley, I'm sure. But...
yeah, I do like that.
Yep. I know how you do.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll spam time until I can hopefully accidentally run into these guys, or maybe...
All right, let's try to make that happen. Hey, Morgan...
I can take a walk to the Bank of Many Plains.
Yeah, and then come back to the bar and be fine?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. You want to go get a wallet and open an account?
My wallet.
All right, here's what happens. You can put as much gold as you want in the Bank of Many Things. Every month, you're going to lose 10%. So every 30 days, 10% just vanishes. But while your money's in the Bank of Many Plains, only you can access it through your wallet by saying a magic phrase that you pick. So you say a magic word and you draw out as much money as you want. So that way it's harder no one can steal your coin purse and steal your money now. Even if they steal your wallet, they can't get it. They can't get your money, basically.
All right. Let's see, magic word to retrieve.
But every 30 days, 10% will disappear.
Yeah. And...
yeah.
let's see, alright.
But 30 days is a long time in the game. So.
Alright, my magic word, I guess, is gonna be, titties.
Okay. No one knows that but you. So yeah. Whisper that to your wallet anytime you want to withdraw money. Go ahead and write down how much you deposit. Like I said, and 10% will disappear at the end of 30 days, but until then you have that much in there. And you can get it anytime that you need it without any worry of it being there or not being there. And it also now doesn't weigh you down. You're not, because gold's kind of heavy, let's be honest, guys. Now that you're carrying less gold, I'll let you carry a lot more heavy shit than I did before. Now that you have less gold on your person.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the whole bounty in there.
That's probably smart, because 10,000 gold's a whole lot of gold.
Yeah, I'm gonna put 10,000 gold in there. That way, whenever I do run into Black Jesus, I can open my purse and be like, I'm sorry, I only have this much on me right now.
Yeah, smart, because it looks small, because it's a small-looking purse. All right, so I'll let you do that and then go back to the bar and wait around, and I'll let Pleek and Morrigan figure out what they do to get to the bar, etc.
Bam! Alright, well, so I assume we probably went to your house first, right?
Yeah, I assume we went to my house and we're rested up, and so I guess
You just have another day until you run into me, probably.
No, we probably didn't rest. It's late.
Okay, we didn't rest.
My god is Caden Colleen, which is like the god of booze and alcohol. So I probably got a little restless.
Okay.
It's like, hey,
You got any booze around here?
got any booze around here?
Yeah, man, we got a nice tavern, the Silhouettes Tavern. They got some weird elf drinks. It's a bit of an acquired taste, but they'll knock your
I'm
pants
a half
off.
elf. I love me some elf drinks.
So there you go. All right, let's do it.
You want to meander over to Silhouettes?
Silhouettes Lounge.
Silhouettes Lounge.
Yeah.
Silhouettes Lounge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Actually,
go.
I have written down tavern.
Yeah, well, I had to call it a lounge, and then Brian was like, I like that. That's good.
Okay.
It was,
Well,
it was an accident.
All right, Silhouettes Lounge. So I call Harriet over to me. I'm like, Harriet, come.
Your spider doesn't know that trick, so you have to roll it, right?
Yeah, she doesn't know that, but I got pretty good
Yeah,
handle
roll me a
animal.
handle animal. Plus 4 for because it's your animal too. Oh, plus 4 plus your animal.
Plus 8, so
Plus your
Oh.
plus your 4. Or is that already including your 4?
that's including my 4. So
Oh.
8.
I see a
Yeah,
cat.
That's still good. 18 is good enough to make the spider come. Yeah, squeeze
18.
here. So yeah, your spider comes to you and you can hop on its saddle.
I hop on.
All right, so Pleek hops on her spider saddle and leads you to Silhouette's Tavern. You guys arrive at Silhouette's Tavern, where as you walk in, you can roll me a perception check if you want, Morgan.
Yeah.
Although it shouldn't be hard because you're at a bar. If you roll above a 10, it'll be fine.
16.
Yeah, it's fine. You see your good friend Cersei at the bar.
I'm gonna bang my elf friend on the shoulder and be like, yeah, come, I notice, an acquaintance of mine, over here in the corner. Let's go talk to her for a minute.
Okay.
All right, Pleek follows you to the corner.
All right. Then I'm going to roll perception to see if I see them walking over while I'm talking to the gentleman and eating my caviar.
Yeah.
Perception, what's the modifier on that? Is it wisdom?
Wisdom, yeah.
Yeah, I got a 17 on perception.
Oh yeah, you see them coming. You recognize Morgan, and you see that she's traveling with a gnome riding a spider.
All right.
Is the spider allowed in?
Yeah, it's fine. No one says anything.
All right.
This is a drow town. Spiders can be anywhere they want, really.
Yeah. I grew up here. Everyone
he's
knows
from here.
Harriet.
It's fine. Yeah.
Everyone knows
All right.
Harriet.
Well,
They probably
then
all say Pleek when Pleek comes in.
They know
Well, so
me.
now there are
I like her.
three fine ass fantasy babes that are actually men in real life, all hanging out at the bar together.
What'll happen next time on Long Distance Dungeons and Dragons Dinner Theater? Just listen and you'll know what happened that time of next that as will.